What up, guys? Matty here. Just wanted to give you a recap of my weekend last weekend at the Connecticut 1K. Talk about Blue Han, which was a really cool deck that I played that I thought would be well positioned, and it ran great. I did play a mirror. Shout out to Alex from the Discord. Can't believe that I ended up playing a mirror of that deck. Pretty wild. And so I'm going to go through what I played, my matchups, and kind of how the tournament went for me. And before I get into my tournament, I wanted to give a shout out to Tabletop Gaming Center in Connecticut. Unbelievable venue, super nice people, very clean, a lot of table space, friendly, safe place to game. And they had really clean bathrooms. They supported the local businesses near them. There was a great deli and a corner store in case you needed an Advil or like a, candy bar. And they gave out some sick prizes. I think Mike showed off his lightsaber, but this gentleman was one of the random selected people to get a lightsaber. You can see me getting ready to face Green Han in, I think it was like the 4th round. But yeah, this guy right here too, like shout out to him. I heard him rooting on an opposing Greedo to flip just because he thought it'd be cool. So I'm really glad he got the lightsaber. But like, yeah, this place was insane. Got Mikey B Mini from the Discord. Just some cool bros. Like this is such a good store. Like look at this place. Huge, clean, friendly. So like shout out to them. Obviously my event didn't go how I wanted to. Ooh, look at CJ right here. What a cutie. And like they gave me store credit for my entry because of kind of the way things shook out. So like can't wait to go back there. And if you're in the New England, Connecticut, New York area, like definitely check out this shop. All right, so here's what I ran. Blue Han. Shout out to Drelak in the Discord who kind of brought this to the community and said, hey, like I think I'm onto something. And I know a lot of people have played Blue Han before, but he brought it to our attention. He thought it had some power. Then Woo, tournament test team Woo, who's an unbelievable player and deck builder, he took it and ran with it. And so I ran very similar, probably like 2 cards in the main off from what he had kind of came up with in our Discord, and he's done an update since then. Check out his YouTube if you haven't. Check out his Blue Han video because he and I have been kind of mulling it over, but like this list was 99% him. So shout out to Woo on that. So some things that I added were early game with Greedo because I felt that you don't always want to be ramping on turn 1, and you want the ability to kind of either take the aggressive route or just kind of fight them on the ground and drop like something like a Kanan or a Gamorrean Guards turn 2 instead of kind of playing one of your 3 drops. So I wanted a little more variety in my first turn plays. I ended up going down to 2 Restored Arc because I found that absent a lot of help with like Rebel Synergy or pumps, it really doesn't do that much. It's kind of just something floating in the air that's, getting you 1 back, maybe using 2 actions to kill a ship. Wasn't super impactful in my playtesting, and so I cut it down to 2. I think that in the future, I am going to cut it completely, although there are lists that I've seen run it and run some shoot first, and I think that's also a good idea. Shout out to the other people I saw playing this deck. I think Blue Han did pretty well that weekend. And one of them was like a main deck Vanquish, which I thought was cool. So like check out those other lists for other ways to play this deck. But yeah, this is what I ran. General idea, drop a 3 cost unit on 1 and shield it, or maybe a big Sentinel on like your 3rd turn, like a Chewbacca, and shield it. Kanan turn 2 shielded against some of the Sabine decks was so hard for them to deal with, especially when you follow it up with Forces with Me. But the big crux of this deck and why I think it is so well aligned versus aggro and Boba is like the ability for you to protect your Han, whether it's with Spark or Rebellion to get rid of some problem cards from their hand, or to drop an Obi-Wan Kenobi, huge blocker, where if they kill him, then your Han can become a 6/8 is kind of insane. So I think that was like the real crux to make this deck good was like seeing that you could protect your Han and actually get the big turn off, or at least keep them around for the for the long run. And then all those force synergies work really well. I was in my limited play testing. I'm going to be honest, I didn't play test the most for this event with this deck, but I was doing really well against Sabine. Shout out to Chrono for helping me out there. So I was really worried about more of the control decks. This is a super control angled sideboard, and I think that if I was to fix it, I would round out some of the numbers, maybe another Waylay, definitely another Surprise Strike in the 60, just for that extra reach. I will be doing a follow-up video to this for Patreon members with my updates, and I plan to release that in a couple weeks to YouTube as well. We're kind of releasing some of that, behind the scenes content to kind of show you guys what we are doing in the Patreon, more than just, a Discord for people to hang out in. All right, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about my run at the tournament. First round against Sabine. This is kind of what I wanted. This is why I picked Blue Han. And I won a really straightforward game 1 with my healing from Kanan, card advantage from Ezra, the whole 9 yards. Game 2, I fell into a trap I think I should have known better about, considering how much Sabine that our team plays. But I let an R2-D2 live. He got suited up. I could never find a Waylay and just kind of died to buffed up units. In game 3, mulliganed for a Falcon, and hopefully like a Falcon or an Ezra, and I got the Falcon, and he kind of played around space. Like the first 2 games he was space heavy. Game 3 he just went straight to the ground and outraced me. So I actually lost in 3 to a pretty good player. He ended up making the top 8. So was bummed to start off 0-1, had to get my submarine going. But I mean, the guy ended up top 8ing, so kudos to him. He's a pretty decent player. Round 2, shout out to Alex from the Discord. He was also playing Blue Han. We had a crazy Blue Han mirror. The first game, I definitely drew all my Sparker Rebellions, and it kind of baited me into trying to trim his hand and kind of go bigger than him. And he just played the board and kicked my butt. So games 2 and 3, I elected to do that strategy, just play to the board, out-tempo him, and I cleaned it up pretty good with some early Ezras. Round 3, I was back to another Sabine matchup, and this time between, an early Kanan and kind of learning from my mistakes in the first round, I mopped him up pretty good. I think it was a 2-0, and multiple times Kanan healed 3 because Ezra was out, so that was kind of insane. Don't get to do that a lot, but the deck did what it's supposed to do. Mopped up Sabine, and I'm looking 2-1. In the 4th round, played, I think his name was Rob, sweet dude, playing Green Han, and that was like a really scary matchup. I knew I had to be on the aggressive because of Ewing reinforcement and home 1, I think, trumped my top end. And so I came out swinging, and in the first game, I was able to win with Exaxes by using Leia to tap down. So he had played home 1. He was if he got to untap and go into the next turn, he was going to beat me because I couldn't outpace his units with all the restore in the 7/7 ship. And so I used Leia to tap down a key unit that then couldn't restore. I think it was a Han solo. So he couldn't restore, couldn't kill one of my guys, and I was able to get there. Game 2, again, played the aggro, went a little more my way, but it was a very close 2-0, and I think we had like 8 minutes left in the round, so it was a tight one. It was a really cool match. Round 5, played against Joshua, who had a really cool red-green Vader deck. He made some sweet innovations like Strike True, which I really like in that deck. I thought it was brilliant. Nice kid, playtests all the time, and he ended up coming in second, as you might know, to my brother, so he also had a great event. And I knew, again, I needed to be on the aggressive, so early Lothal into Kanan, pumping it with forces with me. I beat him in the first game, on this 5th turn. It was pretty quick. I was able to keep shields on my guys that he wasn't able to keep up with. But then games 2 and 3, he was kind of privy to my plan. I brought in Change of Heart because I knew he had some big units, and I made a fatal mistake not killing a what's the three Homestead Militia, which he was able to he was able to like pump and kill a falcon that would have been the game winner. So I got him to like 23, made kind of a tactical error there, and then he played like a million reinforcement walkers and beat me. Game three, I was off to another great start. I had Falcon out, I had Ezra. Ezra flipped a surprise strike. I hit the Falcon in for 6, so I had him at like 12 base damage, like super early, and he stabilized at 24 and was able to come out ahead. So I was I think 3-2 at that point. I needed to win my last round for a chance at the top 8. I was definitely going to be a bubble boy. Was a little bummed that I was only 3-2, considering, I thought the deck was in good shape. I thought I should have beaten both my opponents I lost to, and I think I just made tactical errors. And that's a good lesson. Like, sometimes you just don't play your best. You're not going to always play your best. So when you're going to these tournaments, like, remember that, like, this is a process, right? This isn't just like one event. This is my only chance. Like, over a course of events, you're going to have events where you play really well and don't play as well. And when you're not playing as well, you have to just kind of take deep breaths, play a little slowly, keep reminding yourself, like, you're still in it, or to pay attention, or whatever works for you. And I think this was a big lesson for me. I had to like dig deep because I knew I just wasn't at my best that day, and you'll see another blunder I made. So the final round was another Sabine deck, and I got shellacked game 1. I started to almost stabilize, and then an ECL K2 came and ruined my day. So I was down 1 in the final round, and I knew I had to win to make a chance at making the top 8, and I knew that my 2 opponents that I lost to were at least doing well, so I thought my tiebreakers would be pretty good. Games 2 and 3, turn 2, Kanan, put a shield on him, keep him alive, and I was able to get a big Han flip turn and stabilize. The healing in this deck is one of the big reasons it's able to come out ahead against Sabine. And the shield, like, is no slouch. Like, being able to shield, I think I shielded Chewbacca one game, and he like had already used his Spec Force soldiers, and he just like couldn't get through it. So Chewbacca with a shield on it is like no slouch either. And you can reapply the shield if you need to with a vigilance, although usually you're healing and killing somebody. So I was able to take out my final opponent, another dude from the Discord. We had a great conversation after the match. And so I was 4-2. I went 2-1 against Sabine, 1-0 against Han. 2-1. What else did I beat? 2-1 against Sabine. That's 2 wins. 1-0. Oh, 1-0 against Blue Han. 1-0 against Green Han. And I lost to the Vader deck, Heartbreaker. I got him to 23 and 24 each game. So it was 4-2 on the bubble. I find out you are in the top 8. Hand us over your deck list, and we took a celebratory picture, which I'll pull up right now. So here it is. Here was 6 of us. Ron, you didn't make it in the photo. So I had Symbiote, shout out to Symbiote from the Discord, Photoshop you onto my shirt. We tried to put you in the picture kind of normally, but the resolution between the 2 photos made it look really weird. So we thought, hey, let's just lean into being crazy. So Ron, yeah, you're in there now. So anyway, 6 of us had made the top 8. We were stoked. 6 of us from the Discord had made the top 8. We had Cassian, we had Sabine, we had Han, we had another Sabine, but this time green, one was yellow, and Mike on the boba. Ron was playing green Han, I was playing blue. So we had 6 of the top 8 from the Discord, flying pretty high when the judge comes up to me and says, "Sir, you do not have a proper deck list." So unfortunately, when writing out my deck list, I neglected to put 2 Azatec gunships, which I obviously played all day. Just that morning, I was kind of flip-flopping on what deck to play, was very distracted, and just didn't write the card down. So I had 48 cards written down. So I had an illegal deck list registered, even though I was playing a legal deck. And I was disqualified, which was total bummer. But, I can't fault them for that at all. If there aren't rules to follow, then, where's your integrity? So totally get that. kind of a stinky way to bubble in and get knocked out. But again, I agree with their decision. And luckily, Mike took it down, and that washed away like pretty much all of the sting from that mistake. But that is a learning opportunity. There's plenty of time before an event. Like, ask a friend or even ask a judge at a tournament. Like, they should, be more than willing to like double check your list. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking the extra time, helping out a friend. This is something that can be easily avoided, but like, you just got to kind of lock in. And so, because I was waffling all day, because I was a little distracted, not at my best, I made a goofy mistake and was DQ'd. So it was kind of a bummer. I would have loved to see how far I could go and see if I could take it down myself, but the team represented well and Mike won, and so that made everything pretty sweet. So just reflecting on the day, reflecting on this list, I really like how Blue Han played. I think if you have a Sabine-focused meta, Han does a great job against Sabine. I think it can be a little closer than I imagine if they arena dodge and you're not able to draw either one of your ships or a waylay to set them back. So maybe that's something to reevaluate. I found the Restored Arc didn't do a ton for me, but if it's a card you like, I would suggest maybe some first strikes in there to go with it, or shoot first, sorry. And like I said, I'm gonna do a follow-up on this video with my new changes, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, all in all, the event was a huge success. Our team did well. The venue was great, and we had a great celebration after. Those in-person events are just like so fun. I met so many people from the Discord, people who just watched the YouTube also coming up and saying what's up, and that's really what it's all about. So if you ever see us at an event, please come say hello, and just check your deck lists. And remember, this is like, it is about competing, but it's also about like the community. So like finding people to work with, or root for, or just hang out and introduce yourself. Like, that stuff all helps the game and grows it, and is a good thing for all of us. So happy with my tournament. Really think the deck is a lot of fun. I loved hearing about other people playing it over the weekend and doing well. Just kind of like cool to see how other people come up with the same thing or similar things in a different testing group. So that was cool. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.